Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of January 6th, and we have a jam-packed week, a very significant week, and bringing in a lot of energy. The next couple of months in the astrology are just really impressive. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of changes, a lot of new cycles started, a lot of old cycles ending, and it's a really important time to be paying close attention to how things are rolling for you. So I am excited for another year. Welcome to 2026 here in the Cosmic Community. So we start out the week on January 6th with the moon in Leo, finishing up early in the morning, and then moving into Virgo as the day goes along. Virgo is a grounded earth sign. It's very decisive. It's very discerning, thinks about things, is a Mercury-ruled sign. So is going to be communicating things and thinking about things and coming up with ideas. And also the sign of Virgo is all about cleansing. It's all about detox and about becoming whole in oneself, not needing a lot of output. Virgo is very good on its own, creating that oneness. And this January 6th also has a conjunction between the sun, our personal identity in astrology, and Venus, our heart space and our values, our love, our relationships, all are in the Venetian themes. And these conjunctions, these are so strong this week because it's actually a conjunction with Sun, Venus today. And then on January 7th, we have the following day, Venus conjuncting with Mars. And then on Friday the 9th, the Sun conjuncting with Mars. So basically all three of these planets are all conjunct together. And this means that all of their energies are blending together. Venus, the heart, Sun, our personal identity. And then Mars is our drive, our willpower, our warrior spirit, our physical body, our the way that we go out in the world and get the things that we want, the things we feel like we need to fight for. Mars is the god of war. Venus is the god of beauty. And the Sun is just in astrology, it's our personal identity. It's the filter in which we are just seeing things and doing things at the time. And this conjunction between these three planets this week is taking place at 17 degrees of Capricorn. So in order to follow along and be able to see how this is going to be affecting you a little more personally, you would go to your astrological birth chart and check out where 17 of Capricorn is. Do you have any planets or points there? In which house does this lie? This is the area of life where there's going to be this energy surging in and this alignment taking place. So, you look out astronomically and the Sun is going to be blinding out these other two planets' lights. And so you get this brilliant alignment where our personal identity is taking on and aligning with our willpower, our drive, and our desires and the things that we value in life. And so this is happening in Capricorn, and Capricorn is it's another earth sign, just like Virgo. So it's going to be a little more down to earth. Capricorn is a hard worker. It's ambitious and wants to get down to business. These conjunctions are also starting new cycles for us. So every time these planets align, they finish the last cycle that they were in. Okay. So those last cycles between the cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars, are changing this week. The way that things worked during that past cycle between the Sun and Venus is changing this week, and our personal identity once again getting an update, a brilliant update, and that conjunction with Mars is going to restart that cycle again also. So this week, so super important in the astrology within these personal planets. These are considered the personal planets when we have Mars, Venus, and Mercury, and the Sun making aspects. We can see things taking place in our personal life. So again, Sun conjunct Venus on the 6th. This is like connecting really strongly our personal identity and our values. Okay, these things are lining up, and we are starting new cycles here. This also really improves our charisma. When Venus and the Sun come together, we can be just more beautiful and have this appearance of being more put together, and also having this charisma that comes in. So really important to use that if you're needing to have a really charismatic moment, like use this moment as that, because you're going to be looked at differently. Everything just kind of looks more beautiful right now, and everything just kind of sounds really beautiful. And so it's also time to use the Virgo discernment. There's going to be an air to this week also. As we move along later into the week, we get some oppositions with Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer, and also we're going to get a couple squares with Chiron later this week. And so there's like this sense that the beginning of the week is like almost too good to be true. It starts out really bright and brilliant, and we are making all of these new commitments, and then later on in the week we get a lot of squares and opposition and challenging aspects with Chiron, the wounded healer, bringing up our personal wounds. And so then on the 7th, this is the day the cosmic lovers join Venus and Mars. And so this alignment between our heart and our physical body and the desires that we have. This really enhances romantic relationships, because Venus and Mars, they're the cosmic lovers. You've got the feminine aspect on the one side, the masculine aspect on the other. It doesn't matter about gender. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about the yin and the yang, right? The receptive yin of Venus and the outward yang of Mars. These are two opposites that belong together, and they are perfectly aligned this week. So coming into some really enhanced chemistry and sexual attraction in romantic relationships. And talking about all of this activity in Capricorn, really you have to look at the planetary ruler of the sign to see where this energy and how everything is going to be received. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces right now. Saturn is in a good place. Saturn is making the last completion points that it needs before leaving the sign of Pisces for the next 35 years. See, I say Saturn's in a good place because Saturn is not retrograde anymore. And also, it's already been through Pisces now. All these points, nothing is new to Saturn right now. Saturn is the planet of our responsibilities, and it is a heavier type of energy. It's about what we're responsible for and the rules and the structures and the boundaries in which our lives are ruled by. And so Pisces is the sign of completion. And we have been mulling over all of these completions, endings, finality points, that need to take place in terms of our responsibilities, how we are going to be moving forward, and what type of new energy we're going to be welcoming in come very, very soon, like February of this year. Next month, we'll be seeing Saturn move out of Pisces. So this is a good spot because Saturn likes responsibility. And right now, it's like finishing up the last bits of everything that it needs to do before it closes up shop. And that's a good thing because, like I said, 35-year cycle, this is a pretty serious time to look at it and to make sure that everything is, that you can move forward from this. So this conjunction ruled by this Saturn that's like getting down to business, and nothing's new, nothing's surprising at this point. It's like imminently closing up shop and moving forward. And this conjunction, this alignment this week with the cosmic lovers is starting this new cycle, is feeling that, yeah, this is the final point for this, and new beginnings are inevitably coming up, and there's basically no looking back. On January 8th, we get to see a little different energy with Mercury. Mercury also in Capricorn. Mercury is our mind. It's our communication, and it's also our social interaction, talking, the bits of talking and messaging, text messaging and emailing and moving from place to place and running little errands and stuff. All of that is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is trining and sextiling the nodes this week. And that simply means that all of those mercurial things that we're feeling quite ambitious about. Capricorn is an ambitious sign, wants to make sure that the work is being put in here. So our mind working really well, all of our communications and little social, little social moments are constructive. They're helping to build on to this bigger picture right now. And on the 8th of January, Mercury is going to be receiving some type of fateful interaction here. So that's a communication, a message, somebody that you meet, somewhere that you go, some very, very fateful things happen here. So this is a good day to follow your intuition, to follow your those little messages that come in that are just like, I don't know, I just feel like that should be what I do and how I act, or who I call, or what I, who I meet, or what idea I get across, or what email I send. That whatever goes across on the 8th is very, very fateful and is going to have a permanent effect on the future. The moon moves into Libra on the 8th. Libra is the sign of relationships, and so we get a little more focus on our relationships, and also particularly on just the other, like other people. Libra is concerned about other people, what they're thinking, how things are going for them, how they're feeling. So this is the mood in which we end the evening of January 8th, and then we get into a super hyper jam-packed weekend. Honestly, the first half of the week, it's like all kind of really big, good stuff. It's feeling very good. It's feeling constructive. It's feeling like it's really working now. And on the morning of the 9th, the sun is conjuncting Mars. Okay. And this is like the final little conjunction of this little alignment, although they're all still aligned all weekend, our personal identity aligning with our heart space and our physical body. But with the sun in a perfect conjunction with Mars on Friday morning, this is going to bring in a big surge of energy. Mars is the willpower. So we just get more willpower. It's like we're going to wake up on Friday morning feeling like we are going to take over the world. Like there's this vitality to us that is just, it's there. It's like an instinctual vitality. This could also feel very sexual, because Mars is a very sexual planet. It's about instinct, so that instinct that we get, almost like the instinct that we feel in our DNA, it's that really deep, strong surge of passion and drive. And this also could be a day that brings in some conflict, because after all, the sun is a big energy and Mars is a big energy. And when they come together, it can just be a bit excessive. Okay. There is an air of excessiveness to Friday and Saturday. And that is because also we have Venus in an opposition directly across 180 degrees to Jupiter in Cancer retrograde. And Jupiter in Cancer is actually exalted. This is a good space for Jupiter to be. It's a highly functioning space for Jupiter to be. It just also is a highly emotional place for Jupiter to be. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion and wisdom and knowledge and truth. And it's a big, big energy of excess and taking things to the fullest extent that they can go, sometimes to a bigger extent than they need to go. So Venus oppositioning that is like pushing all the Venus things to the biggest extent that it can possibly go. It's like excessive, right? There's like an excessive amount of everything Venusian and everything Jupiterian. And after all, the Sun and Venus are going to be doing this conjunction, the Sun and Mars are going to be doing this opposition, to Jupiter on Saturday the 10th, because all these are aligning and it's just like this giant slingshot over to Jupiter in Cancer. And Jupiter in Cancer is about creating safety and security, and it's about home and family. So it's not a very outward type of energy. We have the moon in Libra, wants to be like all about other people. But Jupiter is the one receiving this big blast and is like, I'm not really into that. I am into creating safety and security for the home and family and dealing with my changing emotions every 2.5 days because I'm sitting here in Cancer. So there is a type of excessive tugging type of energy that comes in on Saturday. And then you get the Mars oppositioning Jupiter. That's huge. That's big. And oppositions, again, are about making decisions. So we're going to be feeling like these tense moments that lead to potential excessiveness, but that are also asking us to find balance and safety and security and to make sure that our homelands are secure and that we are going to have a safe, secure place to live out our life. On January 11th, the moon moves into Scorpio, and Scorpio is a more intimate type of energy. It's a water sign. We get a more emotional here. So Sunday brings in more emotion. It brings in more of a deep sort of reflection on things. And then we get these two squares between Venus and the Sun and Chiron. And Mars will be doing this also, the following in a following moment. But Venus and Sun square Chiron is about our wounds being brought to the surface and some type of challenge and conflict that is absolutely exposing our wounds. And because the moon is in Scorpio, we are going in deep on all of this emotionally, trying to figure out what all of this means in terms of Venus themes, our value systems, our relationships. How are we going to be able to find action that is suitable to help us deal with our wounds and conflict and challenges moving forward? And then the Sun on January 12th does this square also, and our personal identity is literally being challenged and forced to take action because of this exposure to our wounds. So really, really interesting week as it goes. There is a beginning to the week that feels very big, and it feels almost too good to be true, right? There's this perfect alignment with the Sun, Venus, and Mars, where everything is feeling aligned in Capricorn, taking things seriously and being quite ambitious about starting some new cycles, figuring out what we need to do in order to have a permanent effect on the future as we step into the future in the astrology, we have some really big things coming up with this Capricorn new moon at 29 degrees of Capricorn on January 18th. It's not even in my report for next week. It's even, maybe it is. No, it is. It's in my report for next week. So we'll be talking about this Capricorn new moon a ton more, but this is like basically when this new moon in Capricorn comes, it's all done. It's finished. It's moving forward. It's the jumping off point from the 2020 grand conjunction that took place between Capricorn, Saturn, and Jupiter. This is a huge jumping off point from that. This minor grand trine that's been building at these final degrees of Capricorn, Pisces, and Taurus, and moving into the first degrees of Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini. It's taking us out of this really feminine, watery, earthy energy into this more outward, masculine, air and fire energy. And Pluto's in Aquarius now for the next almost 20 years. So the forward momentum has begun, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the 2026 astrology and to be right here in the Cosmic Community Astrology with you. Thank you so much for being tuned in with your Galactic Ambassador, Stacy Dredd, and I hope you have an amazing week. Be chatting with you again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.